Hi guys, good evening. Welcome. I hope I'm audible and visible. I hope all of you can hear me and see me. Great. Good evening. Good evening. So it's a pleasure to meet all of you. And we're just going to start in another 2 minutes. A lot of people have already joined in. Maybe a few more are joining in. So let's just wait for another 2 minutes or else we'll start. It is an orientation on the financial modeling program that we're going to launch. This program is basically an extensive program that teaches, builds an in-depth understanding of financial modeling. You must have heard this word quite a lot, and you might be quite intrigued to know about it as to how to execute or build a financial model from scratch and determine the value of a company. Okay, so first of all, I would like to meet all of you and understand what is your background, to know a bit more about you before I start presenting. Because presentation is fine, you'll get to hear whatever you're here, or whatever I'm going to say, and get a fair bit of idea about the program. But before that, first of all, I'll introduce myself, and then I would like to talk to all of you. So basically, my name is Rahul Agarwal. I am a faculty at VGLD. I've been teaching CFA and financial modeling for the past 7 or 8 years. I have taught at Kaplan Professional Middle East in Dubai. I have trained at various corporates in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Dubai, and Abu Dhabi. I have taken trainings at various universities. Being a CFA charter holder and having a specialization in IFRS and spending a lot of time in giving trainings to various corporates, whatever I've gathered knowledge over a period of time, I'll be using that to help you out with the financial modeling program. I have been teaching CFA, CUSCMA, IFRS, and various customized programs for VGLD and for various global institutions. So that's just a brief about myself. And now I would like to know more about all of you before I move forward. So in the chat box, if all of you can mention what you are pursuing currently or you have already completed. Let's say if you've done BCom or MCom or CFA or CA or whatever, so that I get a fair bit of idea about the audience and their background. Or even if you're a college student, that's fine. Or you're undergoing your graduation, or you are studying in class 12, let's suppose. So you can go as micro as possible. That's totally fine. Just give a quick intro about yourself or what you're pursuing in the chat box. Can you all hear me? Am I audible? All right. Hi, Ashish. Hello, Plaksha. Hello, Mr. Deepak. All right. What about others? CMA. All right. All right, great. Okay, awesome. So most of you have an accounting or a finance background. You're either pursuing CA, ACCA, or CMA, or you have completed it, and you are undergoing a BCom. So you have a fair bit of idea. Obviously, people who have done CA or are doing CACCA know what a PL balance sheet is or what a cash flow is. I don't need to tell them, but I will take it as basic as possible. What I will assume in the training program is that you know what is a profit and loss account. You know what is an income. You know what is a balance sheet. You know what is a cash flow. I'll be taking you through the model thoroughly, but I'm not going to teach you what profit and loss account means. I'm being very clear so that there is no confusion. So, if you have done even 1 year of bachelor's in accounting or have studied accounting in class 12, you must be aware about what is a profit and loss account, what is a cash flow statement, what is a balance sheet. So, that is a minimum level of understanding which is expected from your end. The rest will be taken care of. So, that's the basic idea. Now, this program basically is broken up into 5 modules. One second. Now, we have broken this up into 5 modules, but the teaching style will be slightly different. The program will basically cover module 1 first, which is Excel, module 2, which is charting in week 1. Then in week 2 and week 3, we'll spend time in module 3 and 4 because module 3 and 4 are basically covered in one full financial model. And then finally, in the last week, we'll do module 5, which is relative valuation, which is comparable company analysis. So that is how the whole program is broken up into. And you need to make sure that you are being with the class when I'm taking the program and going through the slides or Excel sheets. You need to have a laptop with you at all points of time. When you're taking the lecture, make sure you have a laptop in which you have an Excel option. So I hope you all have a laptop with an Excel. That is something which is there with you. Yes or no? Hello. All right. So Excel should be enabled in your system, and you must have a laptop. Without a laptop, the training won't be useful for you. So obviously, VGLD needs no introduction, but still, VG sir has been a pioneer in teaching CA with respect to direct taxation, and he has a large history of success and creating careers for a lot of candidates. So we are offering a wide variety of courses. In finance, we're focusing primarily on CFA and financial modeling. I handle that aspect and also a diploma in IFRS. So basically, that is the overall idea of the course. Now I'll show you what you're going to learn in the course. So understand, a model looks something like this. So basically, by the time you finish the whole course, that is by the second last week, the last week is slightly different. It is comparable company analysis. By the last week, you will be building a model something like this. So you will be thoroughly creating a model where you will do a weighted average cost calculation. You will be doing a FCFF calculation. You will be building a sensitivity analysis. You will be building a scenario analysis where you will put filters, and I can easily predict the stock price based on my base value, upside, and downside. So, like this, you will be able to learn thoroughly how to build a 3 statement financial model, which is a model of any stock which you are planning to analyze by looking at the financials, going through the quarterly results, going through the annual results, going through the shareholders' letters, and then building a complete valuation summary, and then executing it. So basically, that's the overall idea. This model will take time. It's complex, but we're going to go really slow. And by the end, you will know thoroughly how to build a 3 statement model where all the statements are interconnected and help you in predicting the stock price of any company. In our case, we are taking Netflix, but obviously, this is a skill. Once you learn it, you apply it in any company you want to apply. I hope I'm clear to everyone. Anybody, any questions still here? Anyone, any queries, any questions still here? You can unmute yourself and ask if you want to ask something. You can also put it in the chat box if you want to ask something. Both works. Preeti, Kuldeep, Ashna, Vasudev, Kaushik, Laksha, anyone, any queries? Anything you want to ask? Okay. So I'll ask you some questions if that's not the case. What is your understanding of a financial model? Like Mr. Deepak, what is your take? Like, have you built financial models earlier, or are you going to do it for the first time? Today is the orientation, Ritika, so obviously it's not, but you have to enroll for the course to participate in that. All right. So yes, Ritika, it is. So what are you currently into, Mr. Deepak, in finance? If you can unmute and tell us. Okay.
I'm working as a finance director. I had not built finance modeling.
Okay. Nice. So you're working for which company, sir?
I'm working in Bartek India. It's a German MNC.
Okay. So what is your main reason for learning financial modeling?
Just to upgrade, basically.
Okay. Okay. All right. What about others? Kuldeep, what's your take? What are you doing currently? Why do you want to learn financial modeling? All right. So basically, that's the overall idea. Now, when we start the course, we're going to initially start with Excel, advanced Excel for financial analysis, because in Excel, there are some really interesting functions. Like I will show you something. If you see at the top of the, over here in the taskbar, you will find cell styles. Now, I don't know if you have ever used this before or not, but there are multiple cell styles which I've created in the custom section for analysis. So when we create any Excel sheet, we can create our own cell styles over there and implement, which is playing a key role. Like if you see over here, these headers are not something which I'm going to go to the color section and do it again and again. No, I'll just press Alt 1 and boom, the cell style section is open. I can select the cell style I want for the respective category. So this is the best practices which are required when you're learning financial modeling. Now, with the help of this course, you will learn how to build a full-fledged three-statement model on a complex company like Netflix, which you can use to build upon by analyzing another overseas companies or global companies. The model is not built from an accounting perspective. My job is not to teach you US GAAP or IFRS over here. My job is to help you in analyzing a company by using some basic fundamentals. So in the model, I have regrouped the numbers in a certain way so that I am thinking like an analyst, not like a accountant, with due respect to all the accountants, because in modeling, it's more about analysis rather than applying accounting rules. So basically, we are going to do some research work via the input section. We'll do calculations and link everything. So it's a full-fledged three-statement model. And then after the three-statement modeling is done, We are going to learn comparable company analysis, where I'm going to analyze a particular company by looking at the data of similar businesses. Like if I want to analyze ITC, I might look at Dabur, HUL, and some other companies in the industry and try to value ITC with the help of that. So something like that will be done when it comes to comparable company analysis. Okay, so that's the overall idea of the course. The course is extremely important. Whether you are a finance professional, whether you are, as we see Mr. Deepak, who is already working for a long time, wants to upgrade his knowledge. So he must have evaluated or found something interesting in the program. Similarly, if you are a new candidate and you are looking for a job, now I'm telling you with my personal experience, because I started like this only. When I was looking for a job and I was not done with my qualification, I was still pursuing the CFA, and I was looking for a job in equity research. The, the reason I landed a job because I knew financial modeling, and I was able to give a presentation on the same by analyzing the stock which the company asked me to present, which a large audience could not, because they did not invest their time in learning a skill. They were just chasing a qualification. So qualification is very important because it builds a strong trust amongst the employer that you have the right knowledge, but that represents theoretical knowledge. For getting a practical understanding of something, you need to apply it. And in finance, in equity, or in credit research, or in any other aspect of finance per se, forecasting or building proper models is very important. And knowing this is a very big asset. So obviously, you will be getting a certificate from VGLD, and we also have placement assistance if you are looking for a job. But don't just take up the course for a job or a placement assistance. Take this up because Indian markets are booming. If you want to learn how to be an investor in the long term, if you want to manage money for your clients, or if you even want to take a job in equity research, this is the go-to course for you. So that's the overall idea of this course or the program. So the platform now is open for questions, and you can ask whatever you feel like. Any doubts in your mind, please clarify it now. Don't keep it for later. So please go ahead and be free to ask your doubts. Anyone, any queries, any questions, anything you want to ask about the course? We are starting in a week's time. The course will be starting in a week's time. It will be a live online class, by the way. It's a live class. It's not some pre-recorded video which is selling at a deep discount price, which you watch. And if you understand, it's fine. If you don't, nobody bothers. We are not following that model. We are going to take a live online session. There will be a WhatsApp group. If you have a doubt, we'll answer it. So it's pretty straightforward. And the group is obviously available till the batch is there. It's not like a lifetime kind of a group. And it's a live online session. So you will do the model with me. You will not be doing it for approximately 40 hours. It will be in the evening, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you are not available at that time, you can obviously watch the recording. And if you are available, you can attend the class live. So both the options are available. So there are many working professionals who were interested in recording. So we just have given them the authority that they can watch the recordings whenever they want. And if you are somebody who is having time in your hand and you want to learn the skill and then look for a job, uh, join the live class. Even people with recording will be having the option to ask the queries if they're stuck in the model anywhere. Okay, any other questions, anyone? Laksha, Preeti, you have joined the orientation, so obviously you must be having some questions in your mind. So is there anything you want to ask before? Definitely, Prerna. Course content, as I showed you, will build a three-statement financial model. It's not a theoretical course, so there is no book which is required over here. It's a full hands-on training where you will be building the model from scratch. So the whole model, which I just showed you, 1 second, I think it's minimized. Can you see my screen? Yeah. So this is a full length model which you're going to build. Before that, we're going to do Excel. Before that, we're going to do Excel. In Excel, we're going to learn various skills like cell referencing, sum ifs, index and match, lookup functions, because they come really handy when you're building a model. Then I will show you features like quick access toolbar, through which you can use some crazy shortcuts and build a model very quickly. And once, obviously, rebasing a stock price, like how to download the data of a stock's price from the internet and then calculate the beta of the stock, which helps you in modeling the stock. So once you start, you will get to know there's so many things you're going to learn. It's difficult to summarize it in one slide. So that is why we are given a brochure where it gives a summary of whatever is covered. We'll also learn some basic charts like waterfall chart, column chart, line charts, etc., to analyze numbers. And obviously, once that stuff is done, we're going to get into the model. We're also going to do a hypothetical model. So before we start with the actual model, to give you a feel of how a basic kind of a model looks like. So that's the overall idea. And then obviously at the end, comparable company analysis, where we're going to compare multiple companies and try to pick a particular company within a sector or something. So that's the overall idea of the course. Getting it? I hope I'm clear to everyone. Imran, Preeti, any questions? All right. What about others? Anybody, any questions, any queries? Any other questions, any other queries, guys? If you're planning to join, our counselors will call you. You can also drop me a message and I can immediately ask them to contact you and discuss more about the course on a one-to-one basis if you want. Any other queries, guys? Any other queries? Any other questions? Kuldeep, Imran, Saroj, Preeti, anything you want to ask? Anything that is there in your mind about the program which you want to discuss? You can feel free to unmute and ask. There is no problem in unmuting yourself and ask a question. Either ways, when you join the class, you should be able to unmute and ask yourself a question. Otherwise, how will you interact? This certificate will be issued by VG Learning Destination. It is obviously, Imran, this is not focusing, we're not focusing on Power BI right now. Our focus is not teaching data analysis, data analytics. We are focusing on data visualization per se. Our focus is on teaching you financial modeling. So obviously Power BI is an important tool for visualizing a data, but we're not targeting that right now currently. Because in finance, first step of getting into finance is having some idea of finance by maybe doing CFA or any other finance related course and doing financial modeling. And then all that Power BI and stuff comes into picture, which is a much later stage. So first learn, take baby steps, learn what is the core aspect which can help you land a job. And then maybe you can try your hand in Power BI or whatever software you want to learn. Yes, so Tanu, this course will give you a certificate from VGLD or 88 Academics. Uh, the institute is present globally, so it has a global recognition, and they also have tie-up with corporates. So they will help you in the placement aspect. Obviously, nobody guarantees the placement, but yes, they have connects. They will definitely forward your resume if you have completed the program with us. The test will be there at the end, but it's if you have gone through my course properly, test is a cakewalk. You don't need to worry about it. You can give the test right after that. You don't need to worry about it at all, and you will get the certificate. Okay. And I'm telling you, certificate adds a lot of value because when you go to a company and they see you have built a financial model, you have learned basic stuff on Excel or creating charts, etc. They know that they don't have to go through that hassle of training you from scratch. Obviously, they have to guide you with their guidelines and how they operate, but that hassle of training you from scratch is something which companies want to avoid, and that is why they don't hire people who have only qualifications and no skills. Because currently there are a lot of qualified people globally. It is the skill set which is missing in a large set of audience. So you need to constantly upgrade, and that is the reason for launching financial modeling. Okay, anything else? Anyone? Anyone else wants to ask any questions? Anybody else wants to ask any questions? Yes, no, anything, guys? Okay, so before I conclude the session, since I don't see any other questions, our counselors will contact you and check with you on your requirements. You can definitely come to me if you have any questions specifically and ask them to connect you with me. If you want to ask something one to one and you're not comfortable in asking here in the group, we are starting in a week's time. So you have a week's time. I would suggest you plan how you're planning to start and discuss the same with the backend and connect with me if you want to ask anything else. So happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for taking out time and attending this orientation. It was a pleasure to meet all of you. Before I end the session, I would just share my brief. Uh, all right. Tell me, Saroj, what do you want to ask?
Hello, I'm
Yeah,
audible.
yeah.
Can you suggest me? I'm a practicing tax consultant, and how the finance modeling will help me to improve my our consultancy professionals.
I mean, to be very honest, in tax consultancy, Excel skills can definitely help you. But financial modeling is focusing on valuation of companies. So maybe if your client is acquiring some business or something and you are giving them tax guidance, you can also build models for them and value the business and give the tax guidance. So it can be an additional source of revenue or an additional source of income for you, which can add more value to your client, or your umbrella can get bigger basically.
Okay,
So
and is there any way to means AI? Can I say कि it's related with the AI or Chat GPT or BI tools?
no, chat gpt AI का इससे कोई connection नहीं है. You are analyzing a company. Like, I want to invest in a business, or suppose you have a client who wants to do some sort of acquisition, that okay, I want to buy this business. He will ask you, if I buy this business, what will be the tax implication, what should be the strategy. Now you
Okay,
might be aware about the tax strategy because you are a chartered accountant, but you
okay,
may not be aware about the valuation strategy. So you don't know how to calculate the tax because you don't know the value.
okay,
So you can determine the value of the business which he's planning to acquire, and also tell him the right way of paying taxes or saving taxes, whatever, on the same.
okay,
So it's basically like adding another layer of service in your profession rather than, improvising the existing one.
now I understand. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
What about others? Anyone else wants to ask anything? Anything else? Anyone? Any questions, guys? Anybody wants to ask any queries? Any questions? All right. So that's about it then. Thank you so much. And looking forward to your participation in the program. See you in class. Okay, I have another question. That's nice. Yeah, you are into analyzing credit trends and managing the same. So obviously, once you learn financial modeling, you know how to project things. Whether you value a business, you can value it for buying stake in the company, you can value it for giving a loan to that company, or you can value it for any other reason. But end of the day, valuation, the road is the same. The at the end, the door can be different, but the road is the same. So whether you want to do credit analysis or equity analysis, you need to know forecasting. That is a very basic uh, route to understanding things. And even if you're pursuing ACCA, I mean, I'm telling you, whether you do ACCA, whether you do CA, whether you do CFA, or you do whichever certification, end of the day, company wants people who can present numbers into a certain manner which makes sense. Even in ACCA, you are learning accounting, you're learning finance. When you go into financial planning and analysis, you might be asked to plan for a project, might be asked for a decision whether to invest in a project or not. So there you need to value a project, where also you need to do financial modeling. So it totally depends upon your job role, but 90% of the times, if you are into finance, you need to know financial modeling or financial analysis. So it can be applied for equity, debt, or whatever. That's my take on that. I hope I was able to answer your question, Vartika. Most welcome. Any other questions? Any other questions, anyone? Anyone, any other questions? Preeti, Kuldeep, Tanu, Vartika, Uma. Uma, I think I've joined just now. You want to ask anything? The orientations recording will also be available in case you joined late. I'll ask the team to just send it to all the people who have registered for the orientation, so that if you want to have a look at it again, you can have a look at it again. Anybody wants to ask anything? Anything you have in mind? Am I audible, guys? Okay, let's keep it till here. Let's keep it till here. So, see you all in class. You can connect with the counselors, they will call you for sure and ask you about your plans, and you can discuss it with them. You want to see the orientation? It's not at all complicated. Let me break that bubble first of all. It is a process. You need to understand the process and you need to keep doing it. And it will be the most interesting thing that I've come across. And it is extremely practical. All right. Anything else? Anybody wants to ask anything else? Anybody wants to ask anything else? Anyone has any queries, any questions? Anyone wants to ask anything else? Any questions, guys? Okay, then. Thank you so much for your participation. I'll be ending the orientation session and we'll meet in class very soon. Thank you.